The celestial arena stood silent, its crystalline walls pulsing with an eerie blue luminescence. For 3 standard cycles, the galaxy's finest warriors had gathered before the ancient scanner, a relic from the first civilization, capable of identifying the one being destined to wield the prototype weapon. Each had failed. Commander ZYXREL of the Thorian Empire stepped back from the scanner, her 6 arms trembling with rage. The device had rejected her despite her 300 battle victories. She wasn't alone in her humiliation. The champion of Andromeda Prime, the legendary Cronus the Undefeated, had been denied. The crystalline monks of Epsilon 7, beings of pure energy who had transcended physical form a millennium ago, had also been turned away.
This is madness, growled Vex, a towering Drakkar warrior whose scales shimmered like liquid metal.
The prototype was meant to save us from the Void Swarm. They breach another system every rotation. If the scanner keeps rejecting everyone, we're all dead. The assembled warriors murmured agreement. The Void Swarm had emerged from dark space 6 months prior, consuming everything in its path. Entire civilizations had been reduced to cosmic dust. The Galactic Council had authorized the awakening of the prototype, a weapon of unimaginable power, but the scanner's criteria remained a mystery. Dr. Sarah Chan watched the proceedings from the observation deck, her human fingers drumming against the transparent aluminum railing. She'd been assigned as Earth's representative, though she was no warrior. She was a xenoarchaeologist, someone who studied dead civilizations, not someone who fought for living ones.
"Why are you even here, human?" asked a Valorian delegate, its translucent body rippling with disdain.
"Your species has barely achieved interstellar travel. You have no champions, no legendary warriors."
Sarah didn't respond.
She'd heard worse during her 15 years studying among the stars.
Humans were the newcomers, the primitives who'd stumbled into a galaxy already ancient when their ancestors first stood upright. Below, another warrior approached the scanner.
This one was a Sentinel-class combat android from the Terminus Forge worlds, built specifically for warfare, its body a masterwork of weaponized engineering.
Surely this would.
Unworthy, the scanner's voice resonated through the arena, a sound that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The android stepped back, its optical sensors flickering with what might have been confusion.
Sarah's mind raced. She'd spent years studying First Civilization artifacts. The scanner wasn't just measuring combat prowess, it couldn't be.
The First Civilization had been destroyed despite their incredible power.
They'd left behind warnings, not weapons. Or so everyone thought. What if we're misunderstanding the prototype?
Sarah muttered to herself. "Speak up, human," commanded High Arbiter Thelvan, a member of the council who'd been overseeing
the trials. Sarah hesitated, then activated her communicator. Permission to address the assembly? Granted, though I cannot imagine what insight a human archaeologist could provide that our greatest warriors cannot.
Sarah descended to the arena floor, feeling the weight of 10,000 eyes and optical sensors, and psychic awareness fields upon her. She approached the scanner, its surface a swirling mass of impossible geometry that hurt to look at directly.
The First Civilization didn't fall to external enemies, Sarah began. I've studied their ruins across 40 systems. They destroyed themselves. Internal conflicts, war, paranoia. Every archaeological site tells the same story. We know this history, Thelvan interrupted. What is your point? My point is that they wouldn't create a weapon. Not as their final legacy.
Sarah placed her hand near the scanner's surface. The word prototype in their language doesn't mean what we think.
I've seen it in other contexts. It means first design but also original form or fundamental nature. Semantics, Vex scoffed. The Void Swarm doesn't care about linguistics. Sarah ignored him.
You've all been trying to prove you're worthy to wield a weapon.
But what if the prototype isn't a weapon at all? What if it's something else? Something the First Civilization hoped would prevent what happened to them from happening to whoever came after?
The scanner suddenly blazed with light, its surface rippling like disturbed water.
What did you do? ZYXREL demanded.
I just asked a question, Sarah said, her heart pounding.
The first civilization valued curiosity above all else. It's in every text, every inscription. Question everything was their foundational principle.
The scanner's voice emerged again, but different this time, softer, almost relieved. Query recognized.
Candidate identified. Approach. Sarah's breath caught. Me? Approach, the scanner repeated. With trembling legs, Sarah stepped forward until she stood directly before the ancient device. The swirling patterns on its surface resolved into readable text, first civilization script that she'd spent years learning to decipher. It says, "The prototype is not designed for those who seek to destroy, but for those who seek to understand. The greatest weapon against chaos is not force, but comprehension." The scanner's surface opened like a flower, revealing a chamber within.
Suspended in a field of soft amber light was not a gun, not a bomb, not any kind of weapon Sarah recognized. It was a sphere of crystalline material, about the size of a human fist, containing what appeared to be constantly shifting equations and patterns. The prototype, origin, Sarah read from the inscription beneath it.
The first mind. The tool that allows its bearer to understand any system, any pattern, any chaos, and find the order within it. She reached out and grasped the sphere.
The moment her fingers touched it, information flooded her consciousness.
She could suddenly see the void swarm not as an unstoppable force, but as a pattern.
A biological algorithm gone wrong, spreading like a virus because no one had bothered to understand it.
"I can stop them," Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with revelation. "Not by fighting. By understanding. By finding the flaw in their pattern and offering them an alternative." The assembled warriors stood in stunned silence. Vex finally spoke, his voice uncertain. "A human? The human is the one?"
"Not despite being human," Thelvan said slowly, understanding dawning in his ancient eyes.
"But because of it. Humans are curious above all else. They question everything. They seek to understand even when understanding seems impossible."
Sarah looked at the sphere in her hands, feeling its weight, not physical, but the weight of responsibility.
The first civilization's final gift wasn't a weapon to destroy their enemies. It was a tool to transform enemies into something else entirely.
"The void swarm won't be defeated," she said, her voice growing stronger. "They'll be understood, communicated with, and redirected. That's what the first civilization learned too late. That's what they're trying to teach us." As she spoke, the sphere began to resonate with her thoughts, building a framework for communication with the swarm, finding patterns in the chaos, offering solutions where there had only been destruction.
The scanner pulsed one final time, prototype, origin activated. The cycle breaks. Understanding begins.
In the end, the galaxy would be saved not by its greatest warrior, but by someone who asked the right questions.